Hello students, welcome back to our channel Deeplogy. So today we are going to start first and foremost chapter of our science, that is chemical reactions and equations. Okay, and I believe that all have sat with a blank sheet and a pen, before starting this video. You ensure yourself that you have sat with a blank sheet, because we are going to discuss A to Z and important questions and how to represent everything with a clearly depth concept also. Okay, fine. So firstly we need to understand what is the meaning of change क्या होता है, बदलाव की मतलब क्या है ना, change की मतलब क्या. So what is this change? Okay, so for example, take yourself when you're a kid of 5 years old and after 11 years of gap, now you're presently 16 years old, right? Okay, so this kid is playing and enjoying his life, and he didn't have any things to be done in his mind, you know, like generally, if you think. But this person is going to write 10th boards this year, and he is a bit mature when compared to that kid, you know. So let me consider this 16 years old kid has a final state, okay, and this 5 years old as an initial state. So in the same way, the substance will also have a final state and an initial state. So change is nothing but when you can see the difference between final state and initial state, there is a change, we can say, है ना? So change is nothing but it's a type of process, है ना, in which there is a difference between final state and initial state of the substance. Fine. So change can be divided into two types. So that is physical and another one is chemical. So physical change क्या होता है? So for example, if the person is weighing 102 kg, okay, after exercise, diet, he turns to be a 50 kg person, okay. If another person is who is watching these two transition within months, है ना, so he can observe there is a change in shape and there is a change in size, okay. Yes, and for example, take another example. If you kept ice on the floor, okay, it's ice is a solid, है ना, so after 2 minutes it will turn into a liquid water, okay. So what is here it is happening is it's changing its physical state. There's a change in the physical state, है ना. So physical change can be expressed in size, shape and in the physical state, है ना. So for example, you can give melting of ice. So then what is chemical change? Chemical change क्या होता है? Chemical change along with this, like it may be shape, size and physical state, or it may not be shape, size, physical state, but with that or without that there is also which is called composition change. So what is the meaning of composition change and how can we identify this chemical change, है ना? So for example, rusting of iron, rusting of iron. So in this rusting of iron, the color something like reddish brown you can observe, a dot 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 like structure on the upper surface of the iron, है ना? Upper surface of the iron is also used in the steel, and you can also see those dot dot like structure in the steel also, है ना. So that is a type of chemical change, and we are going to discuss this chemical change in a very depth way. Okay, rusting of iron is where it convert from ferrous to ferric, okay. Fe plus 3 to Fe plus 2 to Fe plus 3, it will convert ferrous to ferric. So this will convert. We will going to see a very depth discussion around this, okay. So let me give some of the example. You identify which type of change it is undergoing, okay. So the first change is melting of ice. Second is burning of candle. Okay. Third is tearing paper. Fourth, you're making curd from milk. Fifth is cooking food. Sixth is we can give what we can give rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. Okay, I will explain only this, and other things and other examples you need to tell yourself and ask yourself, is it a physical change or a chemical change? Why I picked the burning of candle means the burning of candle, it melts, you know, when it burns it melts, and there is a glowing fire, you know. So this glowing fire is undergoing combustion reaction. So what is combustion reaction? And these all things we will discuss in upcoming videos. And here it is going melting. It's melting, right? So melting is a physical change and combustion is a chemical change. Okay, fine. You understood this, and I hope you are all getting these all the answers to be correct. What is physical change and what is chemical change? Okay. And in most of the question papers, they will ask that explain or define the chemical reaction. So write the proper definition that a chemical reaction is a process in which substance undergo transformation resulting in the formation of new substance with new properties. So what this definition is saying, for example, if you take, okay, it's not like if they said also define chemical reaction. You should not only define, you should also give an example for that. So example which you can give is hydrogen plus oxygen, which will turns into a H2. Of course, you can see this is a different, this is different, and this is a different substance, है ना? And these three also have a different chemical properties, है ना? And this is gas, and this is liquid, है ना? And this is undergoing one process, and this is forming and resulting H2, which is a liquid. And these three also have a different properties when they are compared to each other. Okay. So then what is chemical equation? Chemical equation is nothing but this is chemical equation. Okay. It is showing a chemical reaction using the symbols and the formulas which we are used. For example, the sodium can be represented like Na, and hydrogen like H, oxygen like O, है ना? So this should be known for some reasons, and you need to understand. Okay, so that is important. Fine. Now we will understand what are the characteristics of chemical reaction and how can we say that this is undergoing a chemical reaction. What are the characteristics which I am going to say? Characteristics of chemical reaction. In the previous few minutes, we have saw the color, the change in the color in the rusting of iron. So the color may change. Second thing, change in temperature. That can be of two types. First is endothermic, and the second thing is exothermic. Exothermic is a release of temperature. It's a release. Okay, it's a release of temperature, And endothermic is the absorption of temperature, or giving. If it have to be initiated, we have to give some of the temperature. Evolution of gas. Sometimes some of the gas are excreted or released during the chemical reaction, and some smoky things we can see in the future also. We will observe it. Okay, fine. Change in state, as we have observed in H2O, right? So there is change. H2O, H2 plus O2 is, both are gases, but there is a formation of H2O which is a liquid. Okay, there is a change in state and formation of precipitate. Precipitate can be written in the short form like PPT. And we see and we will observe that in a reaction also, and we will represent that. Okay, so these are the 5 major characteristics of the chemical reaction. If they ask you a characteristic of chemical reaction, you need to write these all things, and you need to mention this also, endothermic and exothermic. Okay, and these all the examples we will see. Okay, there are 4 types of chemical reaction which we are learning in a further videos, and then on that time we will discuss it in a very depth. Okay, so in NCERT, in the first page, they have given one of the example. Okay, so that example is when magnesium reacts with oxygen, that will give you MgO, magnesium oxide it will go. And they have clearly explained that when heated in oxygen, magnesium burns with a bright white flame, formation of the white magnesium oxide. Means they are saying they took a candle, right? They took a candle and they took a magnesium substance with the presence of oxygen is always a present in the air itself. Okay, when they started to burn, and there is a white flames came, and also a white powder. This powder is nothing but magnesium oxide, they are saying, nothing else. And when you are writing a chemical equation, you need to specify the state. For example, zinc is a solid. Okay, and we will add to this dilute H2SO4, which is aqueous. Why it is aqueous? Why it is aqueous? Okay, so the physical state are of 3 types majorly: solid, liquid and gases. In this chapter we will also add one of the thing, that is aqueous. Aqueous is nothing but you take any substance, you add water to it, that will become aqueous form of that substance. Understand? Like H2SO4 is a very dangerous acid, sulfuric acid. H2SO4 is nothing but sulfuric acid. Okay, that is very harmful. And when you add sulfuric acid with water, that will convert into an aqueous form, which we are using here. So that's why I have mentioned aqueous form. Fine. So what will be the result is ZnSO4, which is also an aqueous form, and hydrogen is released as a gas. Fine. So there is a release of a gas. Then we can say it's a chemical reaction also, obviously. We will discuss in a very depth way. There is no need to stressing out and much more thinking about itself right now. And first and foremost important question in your CBSE or any boards can ask you is, they will give you some chemical reaction and they tell you to balance it. So balancing chemical reaction. Okay, a balanced chemical equation is one where the number of atoms of each element is equal on both the reactant and the sites, product sites. So this balancing chemical reaction follows one particular law. So what is that law? Is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. So according to this law, for example, H2 plus O2, which is turning, is H2O. This is not at balanced. Why it is not balanced? This side we will call this as a reactant, and the right hand side is called as product. Okay, so if you observe clearly, the hydrogen here it is 2 and here it is also 2, and oxygen which is present here is 2 but here it is 1. It is not balanced. So how can you balance? Here oxygen is 2, so I'll add 2, and there is 4 hydrogen now, है ना? So I'll add 2 more. Now it is called a balanced chemical reaction. And this is just a small example which I am giving, and just a brief, like it's like this and it's like this. I'm not going to the depth right now, and we will understand each topic, that how can you balance any chemical reaction or any chemical equation in a very proper way. And I wish you write this definition of the balancing chemical reaction. So a balanced chemical equation is one where the number of atoms of each element is equal in reactant side and product side. So if I write H2 plus O2, which will turn to H2O, it's not balanced chemical reaction. It's just a chemical reaction. So in order to balance it, first I will see first element. Okay, there are 2 atoms of hydrogen here, and there is also 2 atoms of hydrogen here. Then there is no confusion. H2 plus O2, H2O. Okay, there is 2 hydrogen and there is 2 hydrogen. No confusion. Here there is 2 oxygen, but here it is only 1 oxygen. So in order to balance it, here I need to add 2. So now I am very happy that here also 2 oxygen, here also 2 oxygen. So when I see the hydrogen number here, there are 4 hydrogen, but there are 2. So in order to balance it, I will add 2. Now it is called balanced chemical reaction. I am explaining again. Just this is what balancing chemical reaction looks like, nothing else. Fine? Okay. I hope you write this definition. Fine? Okay. And they can ask you for MCQ that maybe balancing chemical reaction stays on which law? Law of conservation of mass. Fine? So now we will follow some of the steps so that you can quickly make this equation balanced. So what is the step 1 is, and you need to explain also, in theory also you need to explain what is step 1 and what is step 2. Write this, okay? So what is step 1 is writing chemical reaction in word form. Word form में लिखना चाहिए. How? For example, what we can say, anything we can assume and anything we can say. So let me take a proper example which is given in the textbook itself. So it is iron plus steam, which will give you a magnetite with the hydrogen gas. Fine. So you write this in a word form. It's a very important reaction because this is given in your textbook itself. So what is step 2 here? What is step 2? Step 2 is nothing but representing these things in the symbolical form. Okay. So you just write chemical symbols, and iron you need to know that is represented by Fe. Steam is nothing but it's a form of liquid which is water, it is H2O. And magnetite, you need to learn that and you need to remember that Fe Fe3O4 it is. Fe3O4. Magnetite is Fe3O4. Hydrogen gas is H2. Okay. And what is step 3? Step 3 is listing of the atoms which are present, like just you need to make a column. Okay, these are the atoms which are present, these are the atoms number which is present of each element in the reactant side and also in the product side, and you'll get a complete roadmap that how you can make this a balanced equation. Okay, so for example, you just write as a heading like list the number of atoms of different elements. Okay, so iron, and here we will write how much it is in a reactant side, and here we will write how much it is in a product side. So you can clearly see here how much iron is there. It's 1. Just write 1. How much iron here in the right hand side is there? That is 3. You just write 3. Nothing to worry. You just write 3. Nothing else. Okay. And next element is hydrogen, and next element is oxygen. So hydrogen here it is 2, and oxygen here it is 1. And hydrogen here it is 2, and oxygen here it is 4. Okay. So you can clearly observe that hydrogen atoms are balanced. Oh my god. But don't be so happy before. Why we say this? Okay. Why we say this? We'll come to know in the few more minutes. Here it is 4. Here it is 4. And here it is 1. So in order to make this has 4, I need to multiply this with 4. Fine. And here it is 3 and here it is 1. So in order to make this balanced, I will multiply 1 into 3. So what is the main thing here you need to understand? Here I will add 3, here I will add 4. Here I will add kitna? 4. And now this is balanced, but hydrogen is not balanced because here also there is a multiplying, we are multiplying with 4, right? We are getting how much? We are getting 8 here. So in order to get 8, we are also multiplying this equation with 4. Now this is called a balanced chemical equation. So what is balanced chemical equation is 3Fe plus 4H2O Fe3O4 plus 4H2O is a balanced chemical equation. Okay, and I will give you some of the example. This is a big one. Okay, some simple, some very quite simple equations will give, and we'll try and we'll practice now only. Okay, so fine. So first question which we have already discussed, that is H2 plus O2, that was turning to H2O. Okay, write like the same way which we have done. Okay, hydrogen, oxygen. How many hydrogens are there? 2. Here it is 2 and it's 1. In order to make it equal, what we need to do? Here I'll add 2. And here it has become 4, so I'll add 2 also here. Fine, because as we have discussed it before only, I'm not pressing or stressing here. The second one is N2 plus H2 NH2. Fine, so you write NH. In reactant side, what is the number? It's 2. In reactant side, what is the number of hydrogen atoms present? It is 2. Here it is 1. Here it is 2. Fine. What I need to make? Here it has 2. So I just write here 2. Now the hydrogen atoms has become 4 now. Because if I multiply here, it is already becoming 4. So here it is 4. Now nitrogen is balanced, but hydrogen is not it. So what I need to do? I need to multiply in reactant side 2. So here I will add 2. Okay, do you get it? No, we'll discuss it. Wait, first you write nitrogen is there. Okay, hydrogen is there. Fine. Here you write the reactant side, and here you write how many are present in the product side. See this. This is reactant and this is product. Okay. In reactant side, how many nitrogens are present? 2. Fine. So this is not at there and this is not at there. Okay. Fine. And how many hydrogens are there? 2. Here how many nitrogen are there? 1. Hydrogen कितना है? 2 है. Okay. This is hydrogen is balanced now. You can clearly see it is balanced. Okay. But nitrogen is not balanced. So what I am doing here, 1 है ना, so I'll make it 2. I'll multiply it 2. If I multiply this product equation with 2, hydrogen is also getting multiplied automatically. So now this is not equal because this has become 4 and this is still 2. So in order to make it 4, I'll multiply in the reactant side of hydrogen with 2 and I'll add 2. And this is the balanced chemical equation, that is N2 plus 2H2, that is turning to 2NH2. Understanding? Getting? Okay. Third is Al plus O2, Al2O3. Fine. Okay. So there are atoms like aluminium, oxygen hai, in reactant side, product side, clear, fine. So in reactant side, you see how many aluminium is there? एक ही है. Okay, you write it 1. Oxygen कितना है? 2 है. 2. Write it. How many aluminium is present here? 2. How many oxygens are present here? 3. Fine. Getting? Getting or not? Getting. Okay. So how we need to balance this? How we need to balance this? It's very easy. When you if you see the chemical equation or a reaction, when you suddenly see 2 and 3 na, don't do anything, you just multiply 2. When where 2 is there, you just multiply 3. Where 3 is there, you just multiply into 2. इसका मतलब क्या? That you add, here it is 3, so I multiplying with this into 2, very easy, and here it is 2, so I'll multiply with the 3. This is balanced now because LCM of 2 and 3 is 2 and 3 is 2 into 3 only, which is 6. So in order to make it both side are 6, you need to do the first thing. When you saw 2 and 3 like this, you just interchange and multiply with it each other. So now here the aluminium has become 4 now. So I need to make the reactant side aluminium has 4. So I'll add 4 because here it is 1 only. Understanding? Getting? Fine. In the previous year question paper, this problem has given Al2O3 plus HCl, it's HCl reacted and gives AlCl3 plus H2, and they have mentioned this as A, this as B, this as C, and this is D. Means कुछ तो number है इसके पहले, and we need to identify that. How? And it's an MCQ type. I'll give an option 2 and 3. Second option is 1, 6, 3 and 2. Third option is 2, 6, 2 and 3. Fourth option is 2, 6, 3 and 2. So how we need to solve this? Fine. So ये कुछ options मत देखो and just look at the reaction. Look at the reaction and what we have done, that only we will do. How? Fine. So now we'll discuss about aluminium first. Aluminium कितना है? 2 है. And we don't know what is this number. So I'll kept it as A only. So there is 2 and there is A. which is 2a. This 2a must be equals to, because we know that according to the law of conservation of mass, the atoms of the any element must be equal in the reactant side and also in the product side, है ना? And this number which we don't know and we need to multiply that, so 2 into a, that must be equal to aluminium कितना है, एक ही है, and there is C, so it is C into 1. Fine, understanding? Okay, then write the same thing like oxygen also. How many oxygens are there? 3, and it is 3a because we don't know what is this number is, you know. That must be equal to, how many oxygens are there? It's only 1, that is 1d. Understanding? Okay, getting fine. Then same for hydrogen, you write. How many hydrogens are there? 1, so it is 1b, that's equals to 2d. Fine. And Cl, how many Cl are there? It's only 1, you know. So 1b, it's 1 and it's b, that's equal to 3c. And it's looking so much complicated. ऐसा कुछ complicated नहीं है. And if you observe the options, A may be 1 or A may be 2. A may be 1 or A may be 2. So let us take two scenarios. So A let us take as 1 and A let us take as 2. Fine. So when you put A as 1 in this equation, what you get? 2 into 1 is again 2. That's equals to C into 1 is C only. C is 2. C is 2. And they are representing A, B, C and D. Fine. C can be 2. Yes, C can be 2. Approved. If you apply the same thing, A is equals to 2. So here you apply A is to 2, which is 2 into 2 is 4. 4 equals to C. है ना? 2 into 2 4 and equals to C into 1 is again C only. So 4 equals to C. Is there any options like that? No. So this is cancelled. So these two options are, first only we have cancelled it. We have identified, no, it's not working, it's not. That's the thing, right? If we approved like this and here we got the value as 2 has C only, and you apply A equals to 1 in this equation also, that is 3 equals to D. Here we got D as 3 value, C as 2 value, A as 1 value, and there is no need to again check this one, you know, but still we'll check. Okay, B equals to 2 into the D value what we got is 3, so 2 into 3 is 6, B is 6, B is 6. So this is how you need to do, much more quicker. I'm explaining you, that's why I've written like this. So I'll give one of the example to do in your home, like that, homework we can say. So the question is MnO2 plus X, we need to find X here, X HCl, which is turns to MnCl2 plus Y H2O plus Cl2, ZCl2. So you need to find X value, Y value and Z value. The options are 2, 6, 2, 2. Second option is 4, 1, 2. Third option is 4, 2, 1. And fourth option is 2, 2, 1. So comment down the answer and let us see whose answer is correct. Fine. And before starting the things, we need to understand some more things. What are like some more things? So what is the meaning of PPT? Before, when we are discussing this balancing equation, we have discussed about the characteristics. There I have mentioned there is a formation of PPT. PPT is nothing but precipitate. So what is the meaning of precipitation? Precipitation क्या होता है? Everything, कुछ reactions हो गया, कुछ बदलाव हो गया, everything is done, but a clear liquid is there, but in the bottom of this there is some substance still we can see in the visible. So that is nothing but a PPT. In terms, in words, you need to write it. So they can ask you define precipitation. So there you have to say precipitation is the insoluble solid air, and that is visible also, insoluble solid, which settle down after the completion after the completion of the chemical reaction पूरा खत्म होने के बाद भी, and we can see that solid substance over there, that is called precipitation. What is exothermic? Exothermic is the release of heat energy. Endothermic is absorption of heat energy, है ना? This we know that. And there is something called catalyst. Catalyst, what is catalyst? Catalyst is something which is used to initiate the reaction, which is used to start the reaction. If that particular reaction has to be started, this catalyst should be used. And they can ask you the definition for this also. So catalyst is a kind of substance, but in the reaction it is not used, okay, but it just comes like a visit, hi, hello, like okay, ja, like they will go, but they will not be used in the reaction. Okay, it's a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction or lowers the temperature or pressure needed to start one. मतलब कैटलिस्ट को भी कुछ देना पड़ता है. That can be a temperature, that can be a pressure. We have to, if you want to initiate the catalyst, if you want to say do this work, and it agrees with the give me some of the pressure change or give me some of the temperature change, then I will work. If it work also, there is nothing, it absorbs itself, it's waste itself, कुछ नहीं बदला होता, and how much amount of substance we have took as a catalyst, and the same amount will be there at the end of the reaction also. And it can speed up or it can lowers, matlab it can slow down the reaction also. The catalyst has that much power in the chemical reaction, okay, without itself being, and this sentence you need to mention, you without being used in the chemical reaction, you need to write. And for making the invigilator much more happier, you can write one of the example, that is formation of ammonia. Formation of ammonia can be also called Haber's process. Haber's process can be called. In this Haber's process, we use iron as a positive catalyst. What is the meaning of positive catalyst? Means it's speed up. That speed ups the reaction. Okay. Ammonia ka matlab NH3. In the formation of NH3, that is also called Haber's process. In that we will use iron as a catalyst. Iron is neither used, it will be not consumed in the reaction, but it speed up. It help us to complete the reaction in a much more faster way. And thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel, our Deeplogy YouTube channel. And I'll make part 2, and we will end this chapter. Okay, fine. Thank you.